Hey guys, it's the Captain here, and today I'm playing with a new digital wireless system from the guys at Shure. It's always kind of tricky doing wireless demos because ultimately, what does it do? It's a way of getting my guitar to work through my amplifier without the need of a cable. So going to try and sort of show you how this system works and go into some of the features, and you guys can decide whether you think it's cool or not. So I'm wearing the belt pack here on this end of the strap. It's a nice rugged metal belt pack. I've kind of got it here so you can see it. Normally you'd probably tuck it around the other side of the strap. And you guys can see on the floor that we've got the new Shure GLX-D16, which is the one that's designed to go onto a pedal board. So I really like this system because I'm not a fan as a guitar player of kind of rack mount wireless systems. I do like to use pedals when I'm playing, and what is a pain basically is that if you have a rack mount system, you get this great kind of wire-free guitar mode, but then your pedals have got to run all the way from your wires have got to run all the way from your rack back across to your pedals and then back across to the amplifier. So it kind of defeats the object. So the idea with this is that the transmitter part of the wireless system goes on your pedal board. So that's kind of cool. Now, I guess the first question that everybody gets concerned about with wireless is, does it basically sound different to what would happen if I just used a cable? So what I've got here is a cable. So here's the sound of the guitar using the wireless system, and then we're just going to plug in so you can hear back to back if there's any difference. So to my ears, no real audible difference there, no drop in level or boost in level or anything like that, just basically sounds the same. So for the rest of the demo, we're going to go back to using wireless. So some of the other cool features about the Shure system, it's a digital wireless system. Without wanting to bore you to death with the whole kind of digital versus analog thing, the biggest issue really with analog systems now is that the frequencies that were in the UK free to use on an analog wireless system have predominantly, or the majority of them, have now been sold off to mobile phone operators. So what's left in the free analog frequencies is a pretty narrow bandwidth that you might be able to get 3 or 4 systems to work in, and there's always a danger that, you know, stuff going on around you, if you're doing stuff playing in a gig in a hotel and the hotel uses wireless or whatever, you might just find that there's a whole load of aggro and you can't get a clean signal. So there's a new channel called channel 38, which is where you're supposed to use if you have an analog system. The downside with channel 38 is you are supposed to hold a license. You have to buy an annual license to allow you to operate within that frequency. So digital uses a whole different frequency altogether. It's completely free, and the beauty with digital is thousands of systems can operate kind of simultaneously within a relatively small bandwidth, and therefore you have you're allowed to use it. You don't need a license, it's completely free. You can have lots of systems running simultaneously without any aggro, and I think what you'll see over the next few years is you'll just see a migration away from the old analog systems and everything will just become digital. So this is what this Shure system is. It kind of looks the same as an analog system, it's only the internal sort of guts that are different. So I mentioned a second ago that, you know, obviously when I said thousands of things can occur across the same channel, I didn't mean thousands of you know, instrument wireless systems. I meant what I meant is like Bluetooth and mobile devices and all that kind of stuff can all operate within a fairly narrow sort of bandwidth. What Shure recommend on this particular system and on their GLX systems is that comfortably 8 members of the same band could all have their own GLX system. What is very cool on GLX is that the frequency assignment, or the channel assignment if you like, is all done automatically. So you'd all just switch your systems on whatever venue you went to, and it would just work out that there are 8 of you in the room. It would all give you your own nice and clean frequency, and you don't have to worry about, oh, am I on channel 7 or are you on channel 9? And it's like, it's all done for you, very, very easy. But yeah, 8 of you. So if you're a theatre company or something watching this video and thinking, oh, that sounds cool, we just need like 35 wireless systems. This is not really that kind of pro level. This is at a sort of a, this is like a band level rather than anything bigger than that. Let's just get a little bit more playing here so you can see on the close-up cam, the first feature that you'll see is on my little pedal tuner is that I've got a battery readout display. So those 5 LEDs that are lit up are indicating that I've got about 3/4 of my battery life left on there. So that's nice visual display, so you know that you're not going to get too worried. So other kind of cool stuff, you know, going through the features of the Shure GLXD6, it's a mouthful, is what I really like about the digital wireless systems that Shure's done is, believe it or not, all the time that we're in this room, this transmitter is transmitting 6 versions of what I'm playing. So in other words, the same version of what I'm playing, but across 6 different frequencies all the time. The receiver on the floor there is choosing the 3 highest quality receptions that it can have, and then silently switching between those 3 to deliver the one best signal to the amplifier. So as I move around a big stage, this thing has approximately a 60-meter distance that I could move away from the receiver. That's 200 feet. As I move away, it's going to be taking into account other stuff that's happening, lighting systems, other wireless systems, general barriers to sort of, you know, me getting from here to here, and always having essentially 6 systems, always monitoring the best 3 and always delivering the best one to the amplifier. So I should get crystal clear reception all the time. The battery that's in my transmitter now is a rechargeable lithium battery. It's recharged by plugging in the USB charger that comes with this into the transmitter and leaving the battery inside. And once the battery is fully charged, which doesn't take very long, you get 16 hours approximately of life out of this battery. So a good, you know, you've only really got to remember to recharge your transmitter every 2 or 3 or 4 gigs. Yeah, not 2 gigs, it's a massive gig. You know, every say 4 or 5 gigs, and you should be completely fine. There is a bit of a downside. It won't take just a normal battery. So if you're really worried about, you know, your battery running out, you need to buy a spare lithium battery from Shure. You can buy these no problem as a parts item, and then always have like a spare as a backup. Other kind of cool stuff about this is really, we're pretty much, in terms of cool stuff, back over to the Pedalboard, the tuner here, which I'm going to go back through again and show you some of the other features on, and show you how it kind of works with the pedal as well. So the first thing that I guess you guys are, you know, another common question is, what happens if I want to use pedals with this? You know, is there a level mismatch or balance mismatch or anything like that? So I've got a pedal next to it. It's a Love pedal MK Red. It's a kind of a fairly hot, drivey fuzz pedal. And again, so this is without, bearing in mind I'm doing everything wireless now. And this is with a pedal. Sounds exactly how it would if I didn't have a cable. Now again, you might be thinking to yourself, yeah, but what happens if I roll the volume down on the guitar? Can the wireless kind of cope with the fact that I'm backing the volume down? Well, yeah, it can. So here we go. This is with it on full volume. If I back it down a little. Really just reacting like a regular, you know, guitar cable would react, you know. The Shure system is essentially what's called a 20/20 frequency response. So it will carry anything from as low as 20 hertz to as high as 20,000 hertz. So it's beyond the normal spectrum that the human ear can hear, and more than capable of essentially delivering you know, all the tones that a guitar or a bass or anything like that is likely to be able to give out. So another feature that I really like on the receiver down here is it has a tuner built in. You guys can see actually there's a big number 11 on there. At the moment that's nothing to do with how in tune I am. The number 11 is to do with the channel, the frequency that we're broadcasting on. So if I want to go into tuner mode, I hit this button here, and I actually have two types of tuner. At the moment I have it set to what's called strobe. Let's turn my guitar up. So it's actually acting, what you can see is that the yellow arrows are telling me if I'm in tune, and the further I go out of tune, the more the strobe effect works. So a little bit like the sort of Peterson strobe tuner. So the closer I get to being in tune, the strobe slows down. It's a full chromatic tuner, so it'll do all my sharps and flats. And you'll notice that it's muted the signal as well. So there's nothing is coming out of my amplifier whilst I'm in tuner mode. Now the pedal itself has two settings. It can, first is to do with the type of tuner, so it can either be a strobe tuner or a needle style tuner. The second is to do with the mute setting. So if I don't want it to mute, I can just have it so that even when I'm using the tuner, everybody can hear what I'm doing. So that's kind of a personal taste, really up to you. I think it's a great tuner. It's certainly, you know, visually very easy to see, and everybody loves the strobe thing because again it's nice and easy to see how close am I getting to being in tune because the strobe slows down. It will run off of a normal 9-volt supply. So if you've got, it comes with its own separate main supply, but it is just 9 volts. So if you have a pedal board with a multi-power supply on it, you just need one of those feeds and you can plug it in and it'll run the back of your receiver. You can see all the aerials in the receiver are internal, so there's no aerial to be able to bust off or anything like that. What you see on the floor here is exactly how it's going to look. The aerial on the transmitter is just this tiny little stubby bit on the outside here, and there's nothing on the receiver. What else we got? It's very rugged and metal. This is not a cheap system, so it's going to appeal to the sort of the pro and the sort of semi-pro guys that are out there. I think this system is somewhere between sort of 350 and 400 pounds. A lot of people are going to say, oh yeah, but I can get an analog system for 200 pounds or something like that. Please don't forget, if you want to use an analog system on channel 38 without breaking the law in the UK, you need to buy a license to use this. The license is about £75 a year. So it doesn't take long before, you know, an analog system with 3 years worth of licenses, 4 years worth of licenses, ends up being actually quite a lot more expensive than a digital system. Somebody else did a very scientific battery life calculation as well, which was based on something like, you know, if the little sort of square batteries cost £3 or £4 each, and you're replacing your battery every 2 gigs, I think they worked out that after like 100 gigs or something, again, you'd have been cheaper buying the Shure system with the rechargeable lithium battery, which by the way will recharge enough times to do 10,000 hours worth of uses. So I don't know, what's that, like 3,000 gigs or something like that, you know, so loads and loads of time. That's kind of it really. As I said, I'm always very conscious that wireless demos can be a bit sort of dull and boring because at the end of the day we are just showing you how a guitar sounds anyway, but without a cable. But I thought the Shure one was kind of funky enough and new enough to warrant doing a video on. As I said, it's really chunky. It's be in the shops by about October 2013. I have a fly in the room now. I better not kill that because people will complain. Maybe I'll just waft it off.